the New Year's resolutions. I'm sure we all saw that meme where they say like the gym on January 1st. Haha, it's so funny. They're gonna quit like 1 or 2 weeks later, and most of them are gonna go away later. But it's so crowded, it's so annoying, whatever. I don't think it's annoying whatsoever, and I don't think there is anything to laugh at that. I believe it's a very good thing that people want to change their lives. People want to do something to change their lives, and they actually took a step forward and they do something about it. But they quit 1 or 2 weeks later, maybe not even that much later, because their motivation runs out. They don't rely on systems, they don't rely on plans, they have no plan, they just rely on motivation alone. But because motivation is a temporary thing, that runs out. And when that runs out, they can maybe go for 1 or 2 days more, and then it's over. Now, most people fail because of that. They don't actually think through this. They don't like sit down and say, okay, this is my life from now on. I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna do this every single day. This is my plan. No, they just think like, okay, I'm gonna try to do this every day. And I don't know, maybe some random times I'll figure out whatever the time goes on. They just think like that instead of putting up a plan, instead of putting up a system that is impossible to fail, to do that every single day until the rest of their lives or until the end of this year. That's why they failed. Like I was one of them. I had like a long list of what I wanted to do until the end of the new year in like 2022. And I didn't hit most of them, but I figured out like how to actually start doing good habits, how to actually start hitting your goals one by one. And it's all basically the same thing. Literally, it's all the same thing. If you want to start studying, if you want to learn something, if you want to start exercising, if you want to do anything with your life, it's all the same system. So if you're someone who wants to change their lives in the New Year's, you use the same thing. You firstly start planning. Like, okay, let's say you're going to go to gym, okay? You want to have a better body. You want to like look very good. You start thinking in your head and planning in your head that you're going to start going to the gym 3 times a week. Now, you got to make this non-negotiable, okay? In these days, exactly which time are you going to go? So I would advise the easiest way to do that is to set up the same time at each day at 8 p.m. on all of those 3 days at the same time. So when 8 p.m. comes, you forget everything else, you drop everything else, and you immediately go to the gym and you plan your entire days like that. So that's the way you want to do it. You want to have days and the hours where it is non-negotiable to go up and start doing that thing, whatever you want to do at those exact specific times. That's how you got to plan it. And I would advise you to start actually very small. However, the way you want to study, however, the way you want to start exercising, whatever you do, just start doing something at those days. Even if you don't have like a very good plan, like you haven't researched very well, just start doing something and you'll learn over time. You learn with time, it's fine. What's important is to start. Another reason why people go back to their old lifestyle, because their identities haven't changed. Their identity is still the same thing. They think themselves as someone who are just at least trying to change their lives. But no, you shouldn't think of yourself as that. You should think of yourself as someone who does that specific thing every single day from now on. And that's you. You're not trying. This is you. This is your life. If you're going to the gym, you're someone who goes to the gym. That's it. That's you from now on. Do not try to go back to your old way of thinking. Do not try to go back to your old identity and say that, nah, I was just trying. Okay, I was just trying. I'm not actually going to the gym. Like we have a lot of inner monologue in our head. Okay, and there's a lazy part of our brain that tries to convince us not to do those things. And when that lazy part comes and talks to you, and you will feel lazy, and that lazy part of your brain will says that, no, you're not actually a guy who goes to the gym. You're someone who's like trying to go to the gym. You're not actually like that. So let's just not do that for one day. It's cool. But you gotta understand that you shouldn't listen to that voice. You should train yourself to ignore that voice. And you should train yourself to see yourself as someone who does the thing that you want to do, does that goal. Let's say studying. I'm someone who studies from that time every single day. That's it. This is me. This is who I am. And that's what I'm going to do. This is non-negotiable. That's who I am. That's how you build your identity. You repeat yourself multiple times. And when that lazy part of your brain comes and it says, like, you're not that person. You're someone who's like actually trying that person. You're your old self. You don't listen to that. You actually kind of fool yourself a little bit, but it actually works. Now, my next point is you got to change your environments. You got to make it easier to do the good thing, the productive thing that you want to do. And you got to make it harder to do your bad habits. Like the same with gym example, okay? You want to have a better body. And eating junk food is literally counterproductive to having a great body. Now you're going to do your best to not buy the junk food. And if you're going to buy the junk food and the cravings are very, very hard, you're actually going to do it, you got to do it for that day. Do not stack up days and days of junk food worth. Don't do that. You shouldn't have any junk food at home whatsoever. You should have it very hard for you to, you should have it hard as possible for you to have access to them. Okay? When you're laying down on your bed and there's like a bunch of junk food on your kitchen and you feel like cravings, you can like easily get up and take the junk food and like eat it at then. But when you don't have snacks and you got to go to the market to buy them, you actually don't want it that much anymore. Like if you're feeling too lazy, you're like, this sucks a lot, but I'm not going to do it. Screw it. I really want junk food, but I'm not going to go all the way to the market. You'll say that. So make it harder for you to do bad habits and make it easier and accessible to do good habits. So that's what you do. You focus on one goal at a time, and that's it. When you focus on one goal, it becomes easier and faster to hit. But when you focus on like multiple goals, it becomes harder and your progress becomes way, way slower. It doesn't become like let's say if you focus on one goal, you make 100% of gains. If you focus on two goals, you make 50% gains on that and 50% gains on that. It doesn't work like that. You actually get 30% on that and 30% on that. Because when you divide your focus, you actually get a lot of time that you get distracted. You're trying to like switch between them and it wastes your time and your brain power a lot. So focusing on one thing is way easier than focusing on 2, 3, 5 things at a time. My next point is you got to get yourself ready for certain things. You got to get yourself ready when you're going to miss a day, because you will. We all will. Okay, we're not perfect. We miss days, sometimes it's fine. But don't spiral that into a losing streak. If you have a really bad day and you happen to miss it after a month, it's fine. But don't make it 2, because it's very easy to spiral after that. It's very easy to gain the momentum of losing than the momentum of winning, because most people actually quit before they get the momentum of winning. That's why most people don't achieve their goals. That's why most people fail at their New Year's resolutions. And the second thing is you gotta get ready for slow progress, because the thing is, this is your efforts and this is your progress, okay? You start doing this, you start giving efforts, giving more and more and more. But the progress, you see, it stays on here. But when you keep giving more and more, after a while, your progress starts catching up. But at first, when you don't see your progress, it becomes very easy to like indulge in hopelessness and like actually want to quit. But you gotta get ready for that and you gotta be patient. I can promise being patient worth it. It really worth it. Like when you see all of those people that are achieving what you want, they were patient. They waited for their outcome to come, and they just kept giving their productivity more and more and more. And the outcome started pouring in after a while. And that's how they achieved the goals that you want right now. Your goals shouldn't be perfect at first. Your goals should be to not quit at first. After you start focusing, then you should try to perfect it. But at first, you should just try to focus on not quitting. And the nice thing is, a good habit will have a positive chain reaction in your life. Like when you start going to the gym, you actually like take care of what you eat, take care of your sleeping time. You actually start having some systems in your life, having some stability in your life. And I really hope that for you too, because there's a lot of us that can't reach our goals. And we see people reaching our goals on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, whatever. And we really get jealous of them, really get sad of that. But when we learn how to do that, it's actually not very difficult or complicated. You just have to stick to it. And I really hope that for you. And the last thing is, don't delay it. The more you delay it, the less likely that you're going to do the thing that you want to do. It's like that quote, the best time to plant a tree was 15 years ago. The second best time is right now. So don't wait for tomorrow, start today.